Hello, welcome everybody, and thanks for clicking on this video. So I would like to show you how I started journaling and mapping while playing 4 Against Darkness. So as you can see, I played a PDF version. I bought this one, it's more practical for me. And when I started to play, I chose this totally general school notebook. I guess we use it mostly for math lessons with this grid. So I chose this notebook. It's really just a small one, and first of all I created my first 4 characters. So when I created Firfim, Lord Grebor, Illusion, so Lu in short, and Yefir, I already started to think about their characteristics, how they really look like, what are their traits, and how they work. So at this point I just had the core rule book for Against Darkness, and I used everything I found in there. So for example, Firfim, first level dwarf of the mountains, you know, all the fantasy stereotypes, but based on the dwarf's skills, I already added gem expert, a bit greedy, but at least smells treasure. So when I created the first 4 characters, I already started to think about how they will evolve, what are their motivations, and try to find a backstory for them. This time I used the original play sheet and monster sheet attached to the core book. As you can see, by the time they had many loot and equipment, and of course they are not level 1st anymore. So I started with this original play sheet at that time, and I registered all the monsters killed in the dungeons as it was suggested by the core book. So after creating the first 4 characters, I needed a hook. I always played these type of games, I mean virtual, digital or tabletop games, in a way that it was always important for me to know why they are doing what they are doing. So I wrote a very short story, and it's really just very generic. The task was just defeat the small dragon in the nearby dungeon to prove the team is capable of solving these kind of problems. So basically just an intro to the whole game. And yeah, the first game was really short. I just tried to familiarize myself with the rules, and I used the symbols given in the core book for taking notes what were in each rooms or corridors. And as you can see, I had problems with the doors at this point. So this was my very first drone dungeon. You can see just simple shading, and that's how it all started. And when I did this with the team, I read the core book again, if I remember correctly, not just once, to know really how it works and how to build the dungeon. And of course, I missed some parts, some rules for the second time also, so I gave this the old mine, but honestly, I just didn't know what I really do, when to meet the final boss, what are the modifications for the final boss, how many rooms should I have. So I almost built a mega dungeon here for my second game. And what I did, of course, I wanted to note their valuables. They found jewelry, they found fireball stuff, what to sold, what to buy. So I had these small notes here. Nothing story, nothing journaling at this point. But after finishing the dungeon, I summarized what happened here. It's just, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences, but it's already started that, okay, now I'm done with the dungeon. I feel the spots left empty between the rooms and corridors, and then in this empty area, I tried to summarize what happened in there. The team had to fight many goblins and hobgoblins, so it's basically, you can read it from the signs, from the symbols in the dungeon, but I wanted to maybe just fill this empty space in the on the paper. But I just really quickly summarized what happened in there. And then I had the first supplement for the team, which was the 3 rings. And again, I needed a hook. It's maybe my play style, but I needed something why they are start to go and look for the 3 rings. So I give them a rumor. They've heard about the legend of 3 rings and Davanzu, and at that time I didn't really know about Norindal, the world of For Against Darkness. Through the supplements, through web and our Facebook group, I found out since then, I found that there are many places that can be implemented to the different supplements or the core book, and there's a whole world of Norindal. But I didn't know what's Tezanisco and where is it, and where is it in the world of Norindal. I think I didn't know the word Norindal at this time. So I just created something to tell in the end that let the hunt begin, because it was just really something in between the dungeons and what's happening. And as you can see, I didn't journal the whole story. I've chosen to take short notes, of course, because, for example, I had to count how many wolves I met with, but no more spoilers. And as you can see in this supplement, as you go outland and go in the forest, you can find entrances to smaller dungeons. For example, here. So I created the dungeon, just implemented to the events, the happenings, and I started to take the notes about the monsters we met here, just not to always flipping and use another paper for this. And I also realized that we meet a lot of monsters in a dungeon, or it can be a lot, so that's not enough, maybe just one sheet. So I started to do it like this, that I have the main events, and I found it a bit exhausting, or I didn't want to spend much time to, okay, we found some tracks, where the tracks can lead, and create a story for each event. I just wanted to know what is happening around. And when something big happened, for example, Yefir was the only one who did not turn to a frog, and no more spoilers, but it was something which was first shocking moment. Okay, my characters can be turned to frog, and it can lead us some problems. So I just took longer sentences, and I started to journal when something really was happened, and all the other events were just really short notes. And of course, after the events, after the journey, I also summarized what's happened there, and I needed a hook for the next supplement, Caverns of Chaos. So, and I don't want to lead you through the whole notebook, because it's mostly the same. You can see that mission, hook, dungeon, notes to the dungeon, and the summary after the dungeon. So that's how I played, and I really liked this supplement, Caverns of Chaos, because it had different plots, different, as I remember, maybe 6 missions, and these are all connected, so I could play my first campaign with this. And then my characters became level 5 and 6, and I started to think about going to expert levels. But yeah, this time I had some issues with how to be expert, and I still felt that I need to learn the core rules better. So after all these journeys, blah blah blah, and settle down for the years of retirement. So that was the end of the first team's campaign, and as you can see, I still had some blank papers, but that was a point when I felt that, okay, I started to learn how to play this game. What is the style of the game comfortable for me? And as you can see, this was the first style of my dungeon, and then I almost immediately started to use small rocks or stones, this style of dungeon. And if I go a bit further, this is much more clean. this dungeon. I used the same small round rocks style for the whole campaign. Mostly because I didn't know at that time that there are many other options. I didn't know about Logos, for example, and any other great map creators. So this was the first time, and after their retirement, I also decided not to use this play sheet. I joined the Facebook group and I found many good inspirational play sheet or character sheet the fans and the players made. So I made my own one just because I started to feel busy. As Yefir, our elf, had a lot of scrolls, and sometimes nowadays I have the same problem with many scrolls, but definitely I felt that after the core 5-6 levels, it wasn't enough. So the space is not enough for further questing. But for the beginning, I think it was great just to see what are the main things a character have and what are the main abilities. And as you can see, I found some space around the play sheet. For example, when I had a quest, I took note here just to know, not to forget about it. So that was the first one I did, and I will record to you all the other notebooks I had in the meantime. Now I'm running almost whole new campaign with a new group, but I tried overland adventures, different methodologies, different drawing styles for dungeons, different styles for journaling. So I will show you in the next video. Thanks for watching.